some different equipment. Impromptu live stream. I said I may go live if you guys checked out my video because the Bulls game got postponed. So this is really just impromptu. See what we get. See who pops in as the league is dealing with. And one of the interesting things aside of this game being postponed is that Adam Silver recently has said that um, a large number of the new cases that the NBA is getting is all the Omicron variant, which to my knowledge hadn't been said before. So that's wild to think of. But it is what it is. It is what it is. Let's see who all hops on. Anyone who hops on, let me know how things sound and everything. Again, I'm using Restream instead of StreamYard. I actually hit my limit on streaming on StreamYard until tomorrow. So there we go. It is what it is there. Oh, I don't like that at all. That is ugly. I'm gonna take that back. I don't know. I'm figuring all this shit out, man. Figuring all this shit out. Let's see if we can go to this. Let's see if that looks better. Yeah, Omnicron definitely sounds like some Transformer shit. That's for damn sure. I don't like that at all. That's ugly. I don't like that at all. We're gonna show them this way. There we go. That looks better. Omnicron definitely sounds like some Transformer shit. For sure, for sure, for sure. But yeah, man, it sucks that the Bulls it seems like they just can't get the momentum going. Now, one of the positive things, right? If we're trying to pull a positive out of this, is we'll have Zach LaVine now by next game. So it's one less game that we play without Zach, who is of course our franchise player. But outside of that, too, like I'm not sure about Io coming back, but and we'll see what's going on with Derrick Jones Jr. as well. But it gives those guys time to get healthy and everything. Caruso, I'm telling you right now, right? And you guys know I've said this before. I'm a bit of a conspiracy theorist and I have Bulls fandom PTSD. But I'm a bit worried at the fact that we have not heard anything else about Alex Caruso's injury yet. It really makes me feel like they sent him for an evaluation. They're trying to wait till the doctors come back and say it. But to me, that makes me think that we may be without Alex Caruso for an extended period of time. So be prepared for that. Be prepared for when the Bulls come back and we do get an update about Alex Caruso that he's out for a month or more. Looking up the injury that he has, it's kept some people out 4 to 6 weeks. So don't be surprised. And again, this is not to call the alarm or to worry anyone. This is just to be real. There is a high probability with the amount of time that we have not heard anything about his injury that it's more serious than what we realize. And if that happens, it's going to be key. We're going to see Io develop very soon. McKinney's going to stay in the lineup getting minutes as well. It's going to definitely change some things with the Bulls rotation. And we know how important and how much of a stabilizer Alex Caruso has been to that second unit. So, again, this isn't to cause alarm to anyone or anything like that. It's just to be honest. When you usually with NBA teams, when a player goes down and gets pulled out of a game and we don't hear anything at all about the injury for 3-4 days, it's not usually pretty. It's not usually pretty. So it's definitely concerning. It's definitely one of those things that, as someone who watches around, it's really gonna be nerve-wracking. Cap, let's see what's up, everyone. What we talking about right now? I'm talking about Alex Caruso injury, and I was talking more so about the fact that we haven't heard anything since he got pulled out of that game about officially about his injury, and typically that usually means it's more it's a more serious injury. I don't mean like anything season ending or anything like that, but it could be serious to the points where Alex Caruso is going to miss some extended time. And how the Bulls rebound from that, and how deep they go on their bench. Like I said, Io getting him back is even going to be more important if we're going to be without Alex Caruso, even after Zach LaVine comes back, because we're going to need that stabilizer and consistent play from the bench. But yeah, it's possible that it can get very ugly for us very quickly, and that is definitely fucking concerning. So, but like I said, I don't mean to pull anybody's alarm or anything like that. I just want to be honest in the way that I evaluate the team. So with that being said, it can get just came out. Alex Caruso will be reevaluated in 7 to 10 days. See, We'll see. So that means we're going to be without Alex Caruso for a while, right there. Even the 7 to 10 days. The Bulls have a big schedule next week. From Sunday until Saturday, we have 5 games, I believe. If I'm not mistaken, we have 5 games over that 7-day stretch. So it's missing Caruso for 7 to 10 days in the current stretch that the Bulls are going to have is huge. That's not anything light at all. I'm going to the schedule right now so I can look at it for sure and say but all right, yeah, Sunday we got Indiana, Monday we got Atlanta, Wednesday we got Atlanta, Friday Indiana, and Saturday Washington. That's 5 games over the next 10 days. So if you look at it, in the amount of time that Caruso is going to be gone, that's huge. It would have been 6 games if we played today. So Alex Caruso is going to be missing quite a bit of games in that. So it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard. Let's see where we are. Hayes called Benny, telling him to get the ball bouncing. Listen, they may have to suit up Benny the Bull, right? They may have to suit up Benny the Bull. But yeah, it's what is it? Atlanta has, but we're not just talking about Atlanta. Yeah, Trey is in protocol, and he probably will miss both those games, which is good. But Indiana, who's beating us, the Bulls I think are going to be locked in as that too. But Washington, I know Washington's record isn't the best. And he may be back by that game, but if he's not, that is a game in which we want Caruso. I mean, every game is a game in which we want Caruso. And the key thing is regardless of the opponent up front, we're still building chemistry. So when you have somebody out like this, that's a key part of your rotation amongst everything else that's going on. That's serious. That's serious. Those Indiana games scare me. I don't necessarily think they scare me, right? It's not necessarily scare me, but it's definitely gets more difficult. Then 5 games in a week, expect a trap game from us. I mean, okay, so let's go back and look at the schedule. So you say trap games. Let's see potential trap games. I think the Washington probably could definitely be a potential trap game if we're just talking about games that could be trap games. So Indiana up front, that's Sunday. So I expect the Bulls to really come out, especially if that ends up being Zach LaVine's first game back. I expect him to come out trying to kill, especially like with everything going on with Indiana in the division. The 2 Atlanta games, one of those could be a trap game. Now they should be without Trey for at least one of those games, if not both those games. I can't remember when exactly Trey went into health and safety, but the Wednesday game is the 7-day mark, so it's possible he could be back by then. But again, they're missing. They're really depleted too. We'll see what the rosters and lineups end up being. We have Indiana again, and then Washington. So yeah, expect something to come out of that. 5 games in a 7-day stretch is a lot. Right, like that. The way that ever since the NBA changed the number of back-to-backs the teams were allowed to have, that type of stretch is fairly rare. So it's crazy. It's crazy. I don't know what just happened. Something just happened. I don't know if you guys can hear that or not. Is there any team not dealing with COVID protocols no, I think at this point, every NBA team is dealing with it to a degree. Somebody correct me in the chat if I'm wrong about that. But yeah, I mean, it's not any team and it's funny how this all started really with us, right? It started with us. Not that we were the first team with COVID, because it was Joel Embiid first, was probably the biggest name first out with COVID this season. But as far as having the outbreak on a team where there was a bunch of people back to back, we were definitely the start of that. Definitely the start of that. We got to keep the defensive intensity up without AC. Yeah, for sure. For sure. That's why it's going to be key to have Io back as soon as possible, and hopefully he's back ready to go. As well as Derek Jones Jr. We'll see. We'll see. McKenna will make team better and crew. No, come on. We got to stop overestimating. I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't play at all. It wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me. We can win without AC. Yes, easier to win with him. He's a workhorse type player. He'll slide right back in. Oh yeah, I mean it's not like AC's the way that he plays. Yeah, he's gonna slide back. Even if he's not 100%, he's gonna give you quality minutes. That's for damn sure. But it's being able to keep up that defensive intensity. Having a player like Lonzo, and then when Lonzo comes off, having Caruso come on and keeping that defensive intensity up on all players, right? Because we know Caruso and Lonzo switch on anything between 1 and 4 in the 4 position as far as who they guard. So because of that missing 2 Swiss Army knives like that is, I mean, so we're not missing both of them, but missing a Swiss Army knife like that off your bench is big. It's big. It's a good thing that we went through the outbreak first because it means we'll be back on our feet before the other teams with outbreaks. Theoretically, right? Unless you run into somebody who gets reinfected, right? Or infected. I don't know if that is. I don't like the way that sounds, but I mean, yeah, theoretically, yes, but it doesn't always work that way. Lakers seem to have their stars get COVID, but somehow test out. Listen, that's not a conspiracy at this point. That's a fact, right? Well, that's a fact. The NBA wants the Lakers to be better than what they are. The NBA wants the Lakers to have a better record. The NBA wants the Lakers to be on 10 as quick as possible. These aren't conspiracy theories anymore. These are just fucking facts. That's what it is. These are just facts. That's what the league wants. And it gets more and more evident as this season goes on and you see the type of shit that's happening around here. Do you think DeMar is our best player? No, I think our best player is still Zach LaVine. I think DeMar is right up there. They're one A and B. I don't like the whole getting into who's better. They're A and B, but don't get me wrong. If this team had to pick, if the NBA said right now you have to get rid of DeMar or Zach, DeMar's gone. That's it. It's not a question for this franchise. So because of that, you got to rank Zach higher, I think. But what DeMar does, not to take anything away from what DeMar gives us. It's not to take anything away from how great they are together. Luckily, we don't have to decide between the two. Update. Yeah, we just talked about that, Vincent. We literally just talked about it a couple minutes ago. So he'll be looked at again in 7 to 10 days. So what that tells me, again, conspiracy theory, Bulls fan with PTSD. If they're saying they're looking at it again in 7 to 10 days, to me that means that it could still be something serious, but they're hoping it heals a little bit faster than what it does. That's me reading between the lines. That's nothing official or anything like that. I'm not a doctor, but yeah, that's just my opinion. I think, but in Bulls' defense, when they said reevaluate the last time, when they used that phrase last time, it was for his hamstring, and then he was back at the end of that. So again, conspiracy theory, PTSD aside, looking at how this team has reported, when the Bulls this season have said somebody will be reevaluated, it has meant, okay, we think they'll be ready to go in 7 to 10 days, and we'll see at the end of that if they're ready to go. So, who do you think our toughest match? Philly for sure. Philly is definitely would be a tough matchup for us. I like the way we matched it up so far against the Nets, and we haven't played the Bucks yet to see, so we'll see with that. But Bucks in Philly for sure. Pat, no, that's a dumbass trade. No, not doing that. Zach not worth Supermax. What? Okay, I mean he has to qualify for the Supermax. So if he qualifies, then he's probably going to get it. That's period. Crazy to think how protected the Lakers have been in recent years. I still remember when CP3 was blocked from going there, they let it slide. Now, absolutely. And the keep in mind, right, is that the NBA had the framework. Like if the NBA, because technically they owned the Hornets at that time, right, until the sell transition. So the combination of all those things allowed them to veto that trade, allowed them to do it. So it's crazy. Do you see LPJ walk in with a cigar last night between this? Yeah. I mean, if it was the 90s, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. MJ did it all the time. So I mean, I get it, but it's not that big of a deal. What's going on, Edwin? What's going on? Shout out to Brooklyn. I'm just frustrated that we're not seeing Bulls games in a while again. Oh, no, it's not a while. I mean, we could see a Bulls game on Sunday. I mean, that would have been a longer stretch anyway. Would have gone from Wednesday to Sunday anyway. You're really only missing one Bulls game, but it is what it is. You look at it this way: you are possibly getting a better brand of basketball by waiting till Sunday because Zach should be back, and we'll see what's going on with Io too. But Zach should be back by then. So because of that, all right. If it takes one game and we're going to replay that game anyway, it kind of is what it is. It does suck to go a long stretch without your team, especially for me as a content creator, right? I love having the live streams afterwards. Love being able to break down what this team did or didn't do in games and stuff like that. but it is what it is there. It really is what it is. Can we stop trying to trade? Listen, Frank, I posted this on my community tab the other day. I cannot wait. We have now like 48, 47 days into the trade deadline. I cannot wait till that deadline passes because I'm just tired of the trade talk. I'm tired of the wild fan theories deals. I'm tired of the hey, I put this in the trade machine. I am tired of all that shit. And for the Bulls fans, you would think that like as close as people should be watching this franchise, that you would then know that AK and Eversley are not trading Patrick Williams anytime soon. And then most of the deals that people try to present, the Bulls just don't have the assets for. They just don't. Especially when you're talking about a Sabonis, a Turner. Like those are players that the team can get multiple first round picks for. The Bulls have no first round picks of note to trade. The only first round pick we could possibly trade is that Portland pick. And keep in mind, it's lottery protected. It doesn't look like we're going to get that pick right now. And even if we do get it, it's not going to be that great. So, yeah. Vincent, I have a feeling the Chicago Bulls are about to go on a little run from your mouth to God's ears, bro. I really hope they do. I really hope they do. Would you trade Pat? Listen, I'm not doing trade talk. I don't do that. Morris is good, I suppose, but this stop and start got to halt team chemistry on the court. Well, the benefit of it this time, the last time games were postponed, the Bulls couldn't practice as a team. This time, the Bulls can practice as a team. So hopefully they're still doing their practice. They have this long break to work out some kinks, get Zach back. But no, I mean, hopefully it doesn't affect the chemistry. If anything, maybe the chemistry builds with them having some time to still practice. The biggest thing is like when we had that week off, the team wasn't even able to practice, and you saw they came back, didn't look perfect or anything. There was still some rust there, but the chemistry part looked pretty good. So hopefully that continues. Hopefully that continues. We need to sign McKinney for the rest of that. Let's not over evaluate one game. I mean, he's played well. He's played 3 games for us so far. He's played solid in those games. Of course, the last game was the best, but let's see. Again, I'm not against it as it stands right now, but let's continue to see. I just peeked the schedule. If AC is ready in 7 days, he'll just miss 2 games. No, that's not true. That's not true. 7 days from now is next Wednesday. Oh, well, yeah. Okay, you're right, because I was counting the other game. So, yeah, if he's ready in 7 days, then he'll be back by the second Atlanta game. If it is 10 days, then he's going to miss the Indiana and Washington game as well. So you're right about that. You know, my bad, JDH. You're absolutely correct with that. So let's see. Let's hopefully it's on the tail end of that 7 days. Is this Bulls team better than the 2011 team? Oh, we have to see. It's still very early on. Keep in mind, this team has only played less than 30 games together, 29 games together. So it's too hard to judge right now. That's something you judge by the end of the season, and you compare the two teams. He's good at doing either. He can be effective in doing either. Like somebody shooting 50% from the field, they're pretty damn effective in doing either. So yeah. By the way, want to make it clear, I'm not the same Edwin that said we should play. I know you're not, Edwin. I know. No, believe me, I know that, Edwin. You're fine there, bro. You're fine there. That was a completely different Edwin. When is Zach coming back? Hey, they said they were going to hold him out the next 3 games. That would have counted. The third game would have been tonight. So theoretically, if that timeline is still true, he should be back Sunday for us. Torian Whitfield, evening. C-Red, what's going on, my brother? What's going on? We can catch up to the Nets because we win, and then the Nets stay behind because of postponement. I mean, at the end of the day, seeding is a seeding. I don't worry too much about seeding. I don't give a damn if the Bulls finish first, second, or third. Considering where we've been the last few years, I don't give a damn about any of that. They can finish anywhere between 1 and 4th. 1 and 4. I think they're going to finish between 2 and 3. I really don't care about them finishing first. I really don't. This person, I know not everyone shares that sentiment. I really don't care. Seeding is it is one of those things, and I won't worry about seeding until towards the end of the season. Then of course, if we're like 1-2 games back and there's like 10 games left, of course I'll start paying more attention to seeding then. But at this point in the season, I really don't care about seeding. I'm not watching that too closely right now. At least DeMar gets to rest up again so he can drop a 40 bomb against the Pacers on Sunday. Listen, well, if Zach's back, I don't know if he drops 40. But DeMar is locked the fuck in. That's for damn sure. DeMar's locked the fuck in. That's for sure. Do you plan on going to any games this year? As I'm waiting for the Bucks game. I was planning to go to a couple games. I was thinking about going to the Atlanta game. And I have a bunch of family in Chicago. I could get tickets almost whenever I want to. For those that don't know, I actually worked in arena for a while. I was the assistant manager of the Scottrade Center, which is the hockey arena in St. Louis for a while. So like I have a lot of connections when it comes to stadiums. So I usually can get in the suite. So I'm going to go to a game. The Washington game I'm going to for sure. And that's the one in January 7th. So I will be in Chicago January 7th. I'll be there that whole weekend. If anybody's in Chicago that weekend and wants to link up, hit me up. I will be there. So I'll be there for sure that game. I'll probably go to a couple more. Chicago's only like a 4.5 hour drive for me. So that's nothing. And I got a lot of family there. So it is what it is. I think the 2011 team is better, but the current team has a higher ceiling. That's fair. That's fair. I'd say the 2011 team has better defense, but this current team has more options offensively. And we still haven't seen the best version of this team offensively. Once we get consistent Vooch and really get to take a look at how that changes the dynamic of the offense with him being consistent, then we'll see the perfect version of them offensively. But, we may not get that, but, that's when we'll get to see it. Do you agree the entire basketball world has no patience as it pertains to the Bulls being a new team and this being a great surprise for everyone this season? Yeah, I think. Well, as fans, right? And I've talked about this before. And I was a psychology major, so like I really sometimes I overthink shit, right? But I think that Bulls fans, because this is the closest that we have been to being a legitimate contender, now at this point are just like, oh, we can make XYZ moves and then we're the true contender. And then I think for the outside world and the fans, they automatically think, oh, well, this is the same DeMar who couldn't get past the Eastern Conference Finals. Zach LaVine hasn't been in the playoffs, and they overanalyze that way. And the truth is probably somewhere in the middle. But it'll all be proven on the floor. That's the thing. I'm not somebody who gets caught up. I don't give a damn how anybody feels about this team. I give a damn about how they play and if they beat the opponents in front of them. The Bulls are damn good this season. They've been in just about every game that they've played, even in losses, besides some few drop games that they shouldn't have dropped. And because of that, I have the utmost trust and faith in the ability of this team so far this season. So do you think we sweep our next 4 games? I never predict a sweep just because you gotta the occasional down game. We're not at our full capacity. Anything can happen. Player can get hot as hell, stuff like that. So I'll never predict a sweep, but I definitely think we're gonna win more than we lose. That's for sure. NBA should add some Christmas games unless they absolutely fucking should. Like, especially considering like they got some postponements and games to reschedule. Throw a couple more Christmas games on there. But then again, you got to think people with their family and stuff like that. Benny the Bull, you think Lonzo could? Yeah, Lonzo is going to be an all-star in his Bulls tenure. Absolutely. Absolutely. I would bet on that easily right now. I want to be the first seed because I like the Bulls getting coverage. I mean, it's playoffs. It doesn't matter at that point. Every game is covered in the playoffs. So no matter, we're not going to get more coverage right now. Like the way that the team came out, the Bulls would have to go on a 12-game winning streak for them to get more coverage, because that would mean that the mainstream media would have to admit that they were wrong in their predictions of the Bulls. We're not going to get much more coverage this year, no matter how well that we play until the playoffs. And then the spotlight is going to be on us and we have to perform. The thing with that being said is if the Bulls somehow underperform or God forbid get swept in the playoffs, all the media then is going to do is say, see, we told you guys they weren't legit. They're never going to say or talk about how good the Bulls have been in the regular season. It's just not going to happen. The mainstream media picks a narrative going into the season and then usually holds on to that. I feel like P. Will going to be timid when he gets back. Thoughts? I don't know. The thing is that P. Will was starting to be more in that game against New York. He was way more aggressive. And then with this, hopefully we'll see. And trusting your body after a major injury. Luckily, it's his wrist. So let me not say luckily, like that's still not a major injury, but everything else in his body he's able to trust. And the benefit is that Patrick Williams doesn't look to shoot a lot. So we want Patrick Williams to be aggressive on defense. We don't necessarily need him to be aggressive on offense right now. I miss Io's defensive energy. Can't wait till he's back, especially if we're going to be without Caruso for 7 to 10 days. So that's for sure. That's for damn sure. Love Lonzo scoring more, makes wins not such a sweat. Sweat? Oh, sweat. Sorry. Reading is fundamental, people. It's fun to fucking mental. But yeah, I mean, I don't. It doesn't matter. Like again, scoring to me, people, and I'm not saying this to you. I'm saying generally, right? People who look to just scoring as a value of a player are usually the people who don't really evaluate basketball as a whole. Anyone who actually watches Lonzo's game and watches it for more than just the highlights or anything knows that the guy's been fucking amazing, right? And amazing in every aspect of basketball. He doesn't have to score in double digits at all for him to be an amazing and have a great impact on the game. That's what's almost more special to me. When you look at like a player who fills in a lot of the of stats all over the stat board rather than just have the one main thing, it kind of makes it more sweet to me because that's a player that's more dangerous to really take completely out the game. You can get a player out on the scoring out of his scoring regimen or whatever and make it difficult for him, but for a player that is talking to his team on offense, talking to his team on defense, calling out what the other team is going to do in transition and making the teammates around him better, that's invaluable. You can't stop that type of player completely. So because of that, Lonzo Ball's efficiency and everything has been great for me. Is there free agent right now? I, I don't know. I don't pay attention to free agency in the middle of the season because usually if they're a free agent at this point, unless they were just recently bought out, they're a free agent for a reason. Would you like to see D Rose back on the Bulls? I think any Bulls fan would like to see him back, but at this point now, I mean, there's really so let's say D Rose theoretically was going to come back. Who are you going to trade for him? Who are you willing to? Because I don't want to trade Caruso for Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose is great, and he's shooting like 40% from three right now. A great bench scorer, everything like that. But I wouldn't want to take any minutes from Caruso. I want Io to continue to develop. I guess if you're going to give the argument of saying he can take Kobe White's minutes, okay, that's fair. But again, it's not going to happen, unfortunately. Like there was a chance in the offseason that it happened. There's a reason why they announced the Caruso signing literally like 30 minutes or less after the D Rose signing in New York thing happened. But you know, it is what it is. It wasn't meant to be. How will the 3 postponed games work in terms of rescheduling? They haven't said that. They haven't worked that out yet. I mean, before when this initially happened, that first week where we had the 3 postponed games, I went and looked at the schedule like when we have long stretches, and I kind of pinpointed or thought when we would. I don't remember. That took a lot of thinking and pre-planning because I like looked at like what the team were, how close we'd be to that city and things like that. But you know, the NBA will figure it out. They'll announce it when they're ready. If I believe DB never made the playoffs into CP3 come to that team, if I believe Devin Booker never made the playoffs, what I don't get what you're saying, but what I don't know what point you're trying to make. Oh, you're talking about because of the doubt of the Bulls. It's because the chat it comes in. Sorry, Vincent. But yeah, I mean the thing is that but that's a narrative that's easy to pinpoint, right? It's easy for somebody who wants to doubt to say, "Oh, well, you never made the playoffs, so I'm not going to trust you in the playoffs this year." Or with DeMar, you never made it out the Eastern Conference. How am I going to trust you this year? And not really taking into consideration that it's a new team, it's a new makeup and everything. But it is a legitimate argument, right? It's a legitimate as much as if we can take our fandom aside and think of it for a player that's never been in the playoffs, and then for his team to say, "All right, we're going to go on a deep run and be contenders," it makes sense for people who are not fans to think, all right, why would this guy go on a deep run? Why would this team go on a deep run when they're so unproven? But like I said, I doubt us all you want. I'm a guy with a chip on my shoulder in real life. I love for anybody to doubt us. I can't wait till the Bulls are the second seed or whatever seed they are, and people are like, oh, but their playoff inexperiences, they can possibly get bounced in the first round. And if we go on a run in the playoffs, I'm going to be sitting on this channel with a big ass smile on my face. So keep doubting. I almost appreciate the doubt more than I do people expecting us to do well. But that's just me because I'm a dude with a chip on my shoulder. I've been watching the Bulls basketball for over 50 years. This is the best team since the MJ days. Facts. Well, David Williams, from your mouth to God's ears, bro. Listen, I'm not poo-pooing that. So there you go. DeMar, all NBA first team, Orion all NBA second team. He's eligible as a guard or forward, so 8 slots. I mean, I think at this point now, like him and Zach have to be all team. At this point, if the season were to stop right now, they would have to be all team first team all NBA. Because when you think of, especially like you said, because DeMar can go in as a forward, they gotta be. Like that's just my opinion. Not Derrick Rose, Zach LaVine with the second highest PER of all shooting guards this year. Come on, man. Come on. Should I mean again? I answered that a little bit earlier. I need to see more before I'm ready to say that for sure. Let's see what happens by the end of this 10-day contract. I think by the way the schedule works out, we'll get 2 more games out of him before the end of his 10-day contract. Let's see what we get. Let's see what we get. Watch the Twitter show you were on a day ago. Don't get the Levine hasn't been in the playoffs narrative. Booker and Trey were first time playoff competitors, and and I agree with it. I agree with that as well. I was on a Twitter show. Oh, the hoop spaces. I almost forgot I was in there. I've been doing so much shit, bro. I don't even remember anymore. Bulls never get good coverage. We beat the Nets and the Lakers, and the media just talks exactly, bro, all the time. That's why I said the media is not going to let that narrative go until the playoffs, and even then, like I said, they're going to be more so waiting for "I told you so" than anything else. Lar is a great example of scoring not being everything, though he can score, and he has seasons of 22 points per game, does what he needs to do. Lonzo is similar like that. And Lonzo, I would think, is an even better one-on-one defender and a more versatile defender. So, yeah, he's going to get it at some point. How do we all forget about the sweet life of Zach and Kobe? Well, Kobe didn't play well. Period. That's where that went wrong. Kobe didn't play well. So, and he was in a position where it didn't work. It didn't work. So, having a coach on the floor type of player is good. It's amazing. It's not just good, it's amazing. People overuse that coach on the floor. He's a true coach on the floor. If we get Tice or Thad back, how happy will you be? Would you give I'm not necessarily giving up. If they The only thing that I'll be willing, like, and I've said this my theory before, if the Bulls get word that they're willing to cut, that they're gonna buy out Thad, I'd say, hey, I call them up and say, hey, we have this Troy Brown Jr. contract. It's expiring next year. Let us, instead of you buying out Thad, do this trade with us so we can get Thad Young back. As far as Tice has a multiple year contract. So I don't know. I believe it's multiple year. Correct me if I'm wrong. So I don't know about that, but I really would love Thad back for sure. Lonzo Ball should get some consideration for Defensive Player of the Year for making James Harden his bitch. That man got in James Harden's head pretty bad, man. You think Mac Malong's going to find his niche with the Bulls? I don't know. I don't know if he's going to get the minutes to find his niche here. What I will say is that with him being on this team now on a 10-day contract, with him being able to practice, if he shows this coaching staff and things some things, is that I would like to see him come to our G League affiliate, and then we can develop him along with Cook and Simonovic, and then take a look, and then we have first dibs on him. I wouldn't mind seeing something like that. I don't know, especially now with this break and us getting more players back, if he's going to necessarily get the minutes to really that he would have gotten it like tonight if he would have played. But where do things have happened? Where do things have happened? I love DeMar, so underappreciated and distracted by NBA pundits. Yeah, for sure, for sure. Med 3, what's your guess of our record at the end of the season? 50, 50. I say between 50 and 52 wins. Now they're on a 53, 54 win pace, but I say between 50 and 52 wins they get this season for sure. And that's if and again, they can still get better. They can get much better. If they get hot, it can easily go higher than that. But I say about 50 to 52 wins. I'm Chicago crazy regardless, as you should be. As you should be. Bulls and Nets, Eastern Conference Finals. Hey, listen, I'm telling you right now, if that's the way that if it shakes out, and I don't know, in the perfect world, right? In my perfect world, the Nets and Philly would have to face each other before you face either one of them. The Nets don't put any fear in my heart, right? None. Now let me be clear. Philly does to a degree. I mean, just look, Embiid owns us. So I would be lying if I didn't say he didn't put a little. The Bulls were still in both those games down the stretch, so they still can win those games. But I would like to see the Nets and Philly have a great playoff series and kind of tire each other out. And then if the Bulls come down to the Nets, I trust our ability to do. When you look at like Zach's an improved defender, so even if Zach now has to move to guard James Harden, Fat Albert James Harden isn't as hard to guard as he has been in the past. If Kyrie's back, and if he's playing full time by then, I'm not saying that Lonzo, I never would say Lonzo can shut Kyrie down, but he's going to frustrate the shit out of Kyrie for 7 games. And then we already saw what DeMar was able to dance around KD. Now, again, playoff series, different coach makes different adjustments, things like that. But Nets don't put any fear in my heart at all. None. Do you think Lonzo and Caruso get all defensive team? I think they should. That's for sure, especially at this point in the season. What I love the most is that players actually want to come to Chicago. We literally never had a big name free agent again before signing DeMar. Listen, I give away my content so much, but I'm waiting till longer by midseason, by the All-Star break, especially when we have a break and I gotta like do some more creative content. I am going to do a video on why DeMar DeRozan may be the best free agent signing in Chicago Bulls history. And I know people are going to say Dennis Rodman and stuff like that, but I'm telling you, I'm ready to put, and maybe I'll compare the two. So, you know, I'm prepared to do that video. Juju, what's going on, bro? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Don't worry, it's their loss. They think it's sweet over here in Chicago. Hey, let them doubt us, bro. I love being doubted. I love that shit. Why do you think Giannis is ahead of DeMar in MVP talks right now? Bulls have better record than Milwaukee. DeMar has more fourth quarter points and is also top 5 in scoring the season. Narrative, politics. Not DeMar. Giannis is a former MVP. He's an NBA champion, and he's playing really good. Like, let's not shade. If he was playing bad and it was different, but Giannis is playing great. So because of that, the narratives, they're going to put him over in voting right now. Do players have control over getting bought out, or is it well, no, they have control because they have to accept a buyout, right? Because otherwise the teams will just cut them and have to owe them that whole salary. So as far as accepting a buyout, they have to agree to the buyout number. So they have some level of control. But if a team says, "Hey, you're not going to be on this team in a couple of days," they have a level of determination there. People need to start showing us more respect. Think about it. We swept the Lakers and we are close to sweeping Brooklyn Nets and we beating the Utah Jazz. I mean, respect is earned over the course of the season. Let them not respect us because we're going to continue to prove them wrong. And that's what it is. Kobe has legit reasons for playing out well. Can't downplay this season. But he still wasn't playing well. I'm not saying that he doesn't have reasons, but he wasn't playing well. That's where the sweet life of Zach and Kobe went, is because he wasn't playing well. Tice is on a $4 million 30. Yeah, so we're not getting Tice. I wouldn't trade for that right now. I wouldn't. The Bulls, I don't think, are going to accept long-term salary of that number right now, especially before Zach is locked in. So yeah, and he's not getting bought out at that number. He's not getting bought out. I mean, weirder things have happened, but I don't think he's getting bought out at that number. Ahmed, yo, what's good? What's good, Ahmed? What's good? What's good? Let me know if I didn't pronounce your name correctly. Nets with Kyrie don't scare you. Also underrating the Bucks. No, they don't scare me. They don't scare me. And I gave right now. Kyrie has a higher chance of becoming Obi-Wan Kenobi. And so I got to see it. And even right now, think about it. If Kyrie does come back, if he doesn't get vaccinated, he can only play in away games. Which affects their home court advantage. And we've seen what we can do against the Nets without Kyrie. So because of that, no, the Nets don't scare me. They don't scare me. I'm not saying the Bulls should be favored over the Nets. I'm not saying that at all. But I'm saying they don't scare me. They don't put no fear in my heart. I'm with the Bulls if we're 8 seed or whatever. I don't care what's get in the goddamn playoffs, man. Hayes fat. I'm not fat. Listen, I'm overweight, bro. I'm overweight. Listen, I'm fat. And I'm cool with that. I'm not fat shaming anyone. But then again, my job isn't to be an athlete. If I got paid to be an athlete, that's different. That's a different story, man. That's a different story. I need to see the Bulls beat the Heat, Bucks, and 76ers. We'll see. Hey, G League players are actually really good. How come most won't make it in the NBA? I watched a full G League game last night and guys were trying hard, playing well. Well, again, some people can give all the effort in the world and all they can ever average is a C, right? So yeah, they should be playing effort. All those guys are trying to make NBA teams. They usually have aspirations to make NBA teams, so they should be. And that's not to say that they're bad basketball players overall. The level of NBA competition is more than that. So we'll see. But most G League players won't make it. Now some will, and you got to have a smart front office to see that progression in players. Timothy, Bulls. All right, Bulls. What's going on? Uh, he will get more perks than DeMar. I think you're talking about Giannis. More perks. Sweeping the Lakers means nothing. Listen, I know some people. I know 5 crackheads who play in street ball leagues that can beat the Lakers right now. That's a fact. Especially if they just got some crack. Yeah. The Bulls are lucky they postponed it because the Raptors. First of all, the Raptors fans have really adopted the Drake fans mindset, right? They won one title and now they try to insert themselves into basketball conversations they have no business being in. It's just like Drake fans who, because Drake is a rapper, they think that they can now talk things about with true hip hop fans, and they try to insert themselves into conversations they have no business being in. One of my first biggest videos was previewing the Bulls' first game against the Toronto Raptors, in which so many Raptors fans came in those comments and said, the Bulls there's no way in the world that the Bulls win tonight. And I trolled the shit out of them in the next video. Don't become a statistic. Don't become a statistic of Petty Roosevelt. Don't do that. If DeMar was in New York, I think he would be a front runner for MVP East Coast bias. We'll see. Juju, get those likes up. I appreciate it, bro. I appreciate it. Bucks lost PJ. They're still tough, but that changes how not only the Bulls, but the league plays against them. I think we can beat them. Hey, we can beat them. Like, that's the thing. I'm giving the Bulls a puncher's chance against anyone, more than a puncher's chance in a lot of cases. That's for sure. Cognac Boys, that's my fan right there. What's going on? Why people don't understand this is the complete Derozan, top of his prime. He is on a bonsai mission. Listen, I'm telling you right now, this is my personal opinion, right? This is not based off facts, statistics. This is completely personal opinion, Hayes. Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan get in the playoffs, 2 players that have heard so much critiques over their games in the last handful of years. It may not be successful, but they are going to be out to prove some. Lonzo, this whole team has a chip on their shoulder. Alex Caruso, former champion, let go by his team. Lonzo Ball could easily be one of the best point guards in the league statistically, but his unselfishness makes him be the even better player, right? Even better player than what he is. Vooch, he's probably developing a chip on his shoulder with the way that he's playing lately, right? Io coming off the bench. Like, this team, listen, doubt the Chicago Bulls if you want to. They're going to make a lot of people look stupid over the course of the season. Tom T. Call me crazy, but I don't know the Nets get better with Kyrie given only playing half the time and the drama he brings. That is a good point. That is a good point. Has anyone picked up Kenneth Faried on a 10-day? Not that I know of. Not that I know of. Vincent Harris is trying to get kicked out. I should block your ass. Trade AK for Foreman. Listen here. Bring that muffet face bastard back to the Chicago Bulls. I'm breaking in and I'm killing somebody. Come on, man. Don't do that. Is Arch in the G League? I believe he is. I can't remember which team he's on. I can't remember which team Arch is on, but I think he is in the G League for sure. All right, let's see. We definitely make it to the second round of the playoffs, but the finals I'm not sold on until we pick up a proven power forward. Bucks, Sixers, it take a lot of consistent ball movement to win through tough games. I mean, I get that, and I get that's an honest critique, but we got to stop thinking that a power forward is going to come. Listen, power forward comes, they make things easier, but that doesn't change the makeup and the heart that this team plays with. They've been in every game that they've played in just about. So it was postponed because the Raptors did not have enough players. They were too ravaged with COVID protocols. I believe both Will Barton and Norman Powell started in the G League and got themselves some nice. Absolutely. Zoe's been holding down for us. He always holds it down for us. Let's see. Fair, but Kobe not so much. Dude was on an improvement scale and looked potentially like a keeper for a reason versus the rest of the previous teams. Okay, listen, and I have a whole video on why the Bulls would be stupid to trade Kobe White. So you're preaching to the choir on why Kobe's good, but we're still, because if you're going back to the thing of why people forgot, again, Kobe did not, like, he shot the ball efficiently, but he did not look good in the point guard role, and then he came back and has been slow for reasons to get back started. Kobe has to prove it right now. He keeps having games and not necessarily not scoring 25 points, but he keeps having games where he makes an impact on defense and shoots efficiently, right? Doesn't have to score 20 points. It'll come around. Bulls haven't won anything yet, just regular season for order, not siphoning DNA. I have no idea what my dogs are going off about. None. I think Drake would have suited up for the Raptors. He would have got his ass busted too. Hold up, y'all. Dun, 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 my bad. That was unprofessional shit, but it is what it is. Let's see. Biggest threat from in the East to the Bulls. There's a lot of threats, right? Philly definitely because of matchup problems, and it'd be stupid to say like the defending champion Bucks aren't a huge. So there are a few. It is a few, but it is what it is. Would y'all rather have Tristan Thompson? Oh my god. Stop. The Bulls are not getting Miles Turner. They're not. Like hold on. Again, I keep asking this, and nobody has been able to do it yet. Give me a realistic trade in which the Bulls can land Miles Turner. Please. And not just ones that fit in the trade machine. By realistic, I mean what this team has showed you who they're not trading Patrick Williams. This front office is not trading Patrick Williams. We don't have the first round picks to get him. We're not getting Miles Turner. It's not an option. It's not an option. Advocating for Kobe. Oh, he has a chip too. Okay. You gotta pick a different narrative. I love seeing Stephen A come to his senses and realize the Knicks aren't good basketball. And no, it's not because Randall don't drive left, it's because they are cursed friend. Listen, the Knicks, something is going on there. The Knicks and the Kings got to be the biggest cursed franchises in the league, in the world right now. In the world right now. Do you see Benny the Bull trolling the Lakers on the court with the giant Caruso meme? Listen, Benny the Bull is the best mascot in the NBA for sure. For sure. D Rose just underwent surgery on his knee? Really? The dogs didn't appreciate Andrew's Bulls slander. Hey, listen, my dogs are Bulls fans for sure. They'll go off on somebody. Bro, Raptors don't have DNA. They had Kawhi. DNA is making the Eastern Conference Finals the immediate year after your star bounces. Hell, Cavs have better DNA. Oh, man. Listen, it's not the answer. Not the answer at all. Like ball. No. The Bulls are not. I'm telling you, I can guarantee you thing. People forget the Bulls have their long-term project at 4. It's called Patrick Williams. The ball is not the answer for anything the Bulls have going on right. The Bulls are not going to get another project. They need somebody who's ready and has a defined role. Ball is not that. The Bulls aren't going after a player like that. Not in trade, and not anytime soon in this season. I'm trying to catch up. All right, here's the thing that's going to definitely piss off. LiAngelo is doing well in his league. What do you think about? No. Listen, LiAngelo is not ready for NBA competition. Period. He's not. He could he be in a year? Yeah. Could he be in 2 years? Yeah. LiAngelo is not going to be anything for the Bulls right now. It's not going to happen. It's never going to happen. Never going to happen. Or let me not say never, but it's not going to happen. Zach LaVine will get his number retired and be top 5. Oh, from your mouth to fucking God's ear. Shouldn't curse and say God's name in the same sentence. From your mouth to God's ears. FPS. Also, what do you think about Inside Chicago Bull? Moving right along, right along. Y'all got to watch the video where Hayes talked about why we don't. Exactly. I talked about that thoroughly. I predict that Nikola Vucevic drops another career high against the Washington Wizards because he dropped his career high against Daniel Gafford with us last year. From your mouth to God's ears. Agree. Bulls not giving up an impact of a bench player just to gain 1-star power forward. It's not happening. It's not happening. Do y'all Bulls fans think you make a trade? I'm a Lakers fan and think you have a better chance. No, we don't. It's, again, no realistic trade scenario for this team is it happens for Jeremy Grant. You heard about Caruso? He got a foot strain. Is going to be yeah. We talked about it already. Brother. Okay, let's break down this. Juju, you know I love you, bro. You know I love you. Everything isn't. There are 30 GMs, 30 presidents of basketball operations, and the team he's on doesn't even. There are 60 people. 60 people. That's not even counting owners or anything else that are literally paid to make decisions to get teams prospects on the cheap. If Jello was ready, if he was NBA ready right now, somebody would take a chance on him. Look at the players that have already been. We got to stop with these conspiracy theories. I know people are like huge just Ball family fans, but no, it's not just a conspiracy. Yes, he's good, right? He has huge potential. But us as Bulls fans, we know scoring in the G League don't mean shit. Anybody remember Antonio Blakeney, who literally had one of the most efficient careers in the G League, scoring in all of basketball history, not just NBA history, not just G League history, not just if you take the efficiency in which Antonio Blakeney scored in the G League, it was literally a transcendent efficiency in scoring. He got to the NBA and couldn't do shit. So no, he's not ready. Just because he's a good scorer and he has a lot of tools, but those tools need to all come together. He needs some seasoning for sure. Let's see what else we got. I think I skipped some shit. Patrick Williams is what Denzel Valentine was supposed. No, listen. No, Patrick Williams isn't marketed as a 3-point shooter at all. Now Denzel Valentine was supposed to be a 3-and-D person who didn't shoot the 3 officially or give you any defense. The only thing that Denzel Valentine did effectively in his life, right, in his whole entire life, this is it. His whole life, the only thing Denzel did correctly, was brush his fucking teeth, because at the size of his teeth to gum ratio, if he didn't brush his teeth I was about to break it down, but I ain't even gonna get it. This team does need a fourth with size. We've seen the team needs small ball won't work effectively against bigger teams like Philly or even the Pacers. If P. Will was healthy, this wouldn't be a problem. Yeah, but we don't need another star. The Bulls need a big man who can block, rebound, and hit open shots. That's it. Everybody goes right to stars, and I understand it, but no. Why the hell is everyone down on P. Will? Listen, because people, like I said it before, people are so down on P. Will because partially people are short-sighted. Secondly, the Bulls are so close, right? In so many people's mind, are so close to being a true contender that they're just throwing anything that gets them that thing, anything that the Bulls can trade to get them whatever thing or player that they think makes them a contender, they're going to go for it. Let's go to Shay, because I know Shay will keep leaving the same comment. Not fucking with you, Shay. What is it that a lot of people talk about lack of size, but Brooklyn Nets are built just like us. They have 2 players with size, and was Kevin Durant and LaMarcus Aldridge. I mean, it's different though. It's different. What do you think about the Balzac nickname? It's a mess. The LaBall. Listen, all that shit is terrible. Terrible. Is there a game going on tonight, or are you just talking? Tell me, chat or YouTuber? Why do people get in here and ask stupid ass questions like that? Like, I don't even mean to flame people. That's a dumbass question. Before you ask the chat, ask Google. Like, everybody knows the game was postponed. What the fuck are you talking about? And by the way, P. Will can return this season. Oh yeah, I mean, I've been talking about it that he's going to be back by March. That's what I've been talking about. Have you watched the full G League? Yes, I have, and he looks good in the G League. In the G League, his name is Carrion Leangelo. Not saying he's bad, but come on now, he's not going to be a great role. Exactly. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Leangelo is where he needs to be in the G League right now. Does anybody like? I always compare him to Seth Curry. Seth Curry looked terrible early on. He went away for a while, came back, and he turned himself into a great role player. Even if you look back, like LeVar talks all this shit now, but even like the year after Alonzo was drafted, even LeVar said if he had to bet on any of his sons not being an impact player in the league, he said Leangelo. There's a reason for that. Like now he talks all that shit about, oh, I gifted them a suit. Like he talks all that shit. But LeVar in his times of not bravado and just being honest, he go back and look. He said that Leangelo is not ready, and that's okay. He doesn't need to be ready right now. That's not saying he's terrible. That's not saying he doesn't have a future. Not at all. But being a impact player, even an impact role player in the NBA team, he's not ready right now. He's not ready right now. I think McMillan's ceiling can be like Caruso and White together. And by that, I mean his athleticism and defensive prowess is Caruso and shooting and driving. Let's see him do it on the NBA level. I got to say the same thing that I'm saying about Jello right now. I get it. All the tools and the potential in the world. Potential is not always realized. And sometimes it needs to be fine tuned. We'll see. The Bulls signed him for a reason, right? And if we're trusting AK and Eversley, then we have to trust the decisions that they make. And we'll see if he sticks around here, then he sticks around. That's what it is. We true Bulls fans are confident in the front office. They will look to add a player doing buyout. No trades needed. Bulls can add McKinney if he continue to play. Well, I mean, McKinney still doesn't really fix what we need. Now he could be a nice bench player, but it is what it is. The Bulls can definitely make it far, but we need to get the Bucks or 76ers. We're going to get absolutely fucked by Giannis and Embiid. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Definitely, man. Prayers up to D Rose, man. Like he's faced so much, but I trust if anybody can come back from it, it's gonna be him for sure. Remember that game when Antonio Blakeney hit his NBA career high of 20 something? I thought that'd be the norm. It wasn't. Listen, I remember it, the hype and like the legend of Antonio Blakeney, right? It really started off of, hey, the Bulls got this guy who's like a scorer in the G League. And then like as he continued to grow, it's like the Bulls are grooming their next shooting guard in the G League. He finally got called up. He had some flashes, right? But just couldn't put it. He looked so lost out there sometimes, man. So lost out there. There were Bulls fans that literally thought he was the next coming of a really good Chicago Bulls player. Y'all funny as hell to me, people like this, man. The other dude and the other dude that talk about the Chicago Bears and the Bulls remind me of some wineheads in the alley talking about sports. Delete. Get your dumb ass up out of here then. First of all, your mama named you Tyrone. She didn't love you, bro. She didn't love you because that she just made you a target for jokes. Like Tyler Cook, hopefully he can keep progress. Listen, his speed, athleticism at his size, man, listen. That shit is crazy, bro. He has some serious potential, that's for sure. There's a reason why Mac is here with us. Listen, that's another thing. All the players down with COVID, right? And health and safety. Nobody took a look. Like come on, man. I'm just gonna leave it at that. Chicago Bulls from your mouth to God. Listen, that's my when people say great things from because I want God to hear it. I want God to bless us. I want to make sure that he hears it, man. That's my basically me saying I ain't got shit to add to that. You hit every nail on the head. I have a strong feeling that Patrick Williams will have the same development process as Joe Kim. Joe Kim wasn't performing well in his first 2 seasons. Then it's his 3rd season. He became a star. Well, everybody progresses differently, but people do forget that, especially Joe Kim's first season, like he looked completely lost at times. And this is from somebody who was a 4-year college player and played at a high level. things happen. Weird things. Development in the NBA is not linear, and it's not the same for every player. That's for sure. Here goes Leonard. Leonard in all his goddamn periods, bro. Come on, man. Like at this point, aren't you tired of pressing the period button? Like, aren't you tired of it, bro? Like, give it a break, man. Give it a break. Your thumbs need a break, dog. They need a break, man. Like if you ever do voice texting, do you say the period after each word? I just want to know. I gotta know, bro. I gotta know. Oh, I know we need rebound in the height, but we should look at the stats. Is the number? Wait, I know we need rebound in the height, but what we should look at is stats. Is the number of shots our small team forces turn? Yes, forces. But that again, that is a team. That is not a result of small. That's a result of the defensive scheme. So again, even Vooch gets it sometimes in the passing lane. So that's why having a versatile defender is important because they can keep that up. Do you see a scenario where the Bulls, with the Ball Bros, two or three of them on the same team? I mean, where do things have happened? Technically, I mean, they're under the same organization now. Where do things have happened? But it is what it is. Ace Daniels, terrible take today. I thought we were a smarter fan base. What's the terrible take? You gonna have any guests on here anytime soon? Again, well, considering the long break, we'll see. I didn't schedule any guests this week just because I wasn't able to live stream after one of the games. I was able to live stream the other night after the game, but I didn't know if I'd be able to start right. I ended up being able to start right after the game, so I tried to schedule when I know that my schedule I'll have an exact time that I can start. That's when I try to have guests. But look for the Cognac Boys to be back. Look for Juju Knows Hoops to be back for sure, because that's my dude. I mean, it's definitely going to be more guests on. I've been talking to some other Bulls podcasters as well about coming on. I'm curious about Ersan. He's been a top 10 in the league in charges taken every year. So that says a lot about his IQ. He's a sniper from deep. Also, his defensive rating is way better than I expected. We'll see. I mean, hey, yeah, we'll definitely get to take a look at him. Look, all I'm going to say is the point of PJ in Milwaukee was so Giannis isn't using all his energy guarding the best player. Holiday on Zoe, I guess. Giannis on Debo. Who guards Zach? Who guards Kobe? Especially if Kobe's hot. Walter Lim. Listen here. That's another this is why the G League thing, man. Came into the Bulls live stream just to hate. That shows you ain't got nothing going on, my guy, for sure. It's funny because they don't know, right? They can't. That people. It's y'all because now we talk shit, right? We're all family now. We talk shit to each other. You guys expect Petty Roosevelt to come out, but they done came into the wrong Bulls chat to try to troll somebody. They done came in the wrong one for that shit. Do you think Zach's playing so well he can take MVP votes away from DeMar? That is a good point. I think the focus is right now on DeMar, especially because of what he does in the fourth. I think as long as that goes on, I mean, anyone can take MVP votes from anyone, but I think as long as that's going on, it's going to be DeMar in the league. Do you like Chicago style hot? Listen, no, I don't like Chicago style hot dogs at all. The pickle, I don't like pickles. Maybe that's what I hate pickles. I hate pickles. We need a player that can bang in the post with Miami or Milwaukee. If not, we're done. No, we're not done. Again, not done here. Come on, y'all go to every team has a hole. You got to stop saying that we're done just because of a hole, because great teams overcome that in the way that they play, in the way that the defense plays, and they make adjustments. It's not just about the one-on-one. Sorry, got a alert about something. Your video feed. So the thing that I don't like about doing it this way and through Restream rather than StreamYard. So my camera on this side of the studio is a 6K camera. And so it has to downscale it to 720p because that's what it streams at. And that the downscaling of that throws shit off sometimes. This is why that one time my audio was kind of out. So it happens, man. It happens. So I'm sorry that it gets flicky from time to time. I apologize. I'm working on some things so that I can stream at a higher bit rate and shit like that. So we'll see. We need a player that can. Oh, already read that one. My bad. If we lose to the Pacers again, blow it up. Time to rebuild. Joking. We gonna smoke them. I'll bet money from your mouth to God's ears, my brother. With all teams and players going through COVID protocol, do you think the league should take a break for about them? I think the league should, at the beginning of December, when all this looked like it was going to happen around between the 5th, which is my birthday, and the 10th, the league should have shut down until Christmas. They should have 2 weeks right there, 14 days. We'll see you guys back on Christmas Eve. That's what I feel. That's what I feel. That's what I feel should have happened. But they pay people a lot smarter than me to make those decisions. They should have just rescheduled the Bulls for an early Christmas game. Listen here, man. Listen here. Listen here. Serious question. Is a Euro just, first of all, Euro. If y'all motherfuckers say gyro, smack your mama. Euro is just a Greek taco. Hey, it's more like a Greek steak and cheese. That's what I think it's more similar to than a Greek taco. That's what I would say. Banging the post with the market, who's going to stop Giannis? Again, no, that's not what it proved. Basketball is not about stopping one player. Smart defensive teams stop everything else around a great player and force the other players to be able to beat you and let the other player get 40. The thing is that especially when if you get into ability to stop everything else around Giannis and what they do, and you're then trusting DeMar and Zach to be able and other players to be able to outscore that, you have a chance. You have a chance. Not trying to jack your swag, brother, but I started a Bulls fan page and I'm thinking of doing a podcast. Maybe how'd you start up? What's hard about doing podcasts, or is it simple? So I've been podcasting for 4 years now with my solo podcast before I started this. Honestly, the thing about podcasting, this is what I'll say. As long as you podcast, first, do what you're passionate about. So many people, and why so many podcasts fail is that people do what they think is going to get them a lot of listens rather than what their passion is. If you pick something that you're passionate about and you can talk about every single day, you're already the heads up there. Second, it's not about the mic quality and everything else like this. There are great, like when I first started podcasting, I've always had studio level sound. There, don't go USB mics. Stay away from USB mics because there's not growth in that. When it's time for you, when you do want a new mic, you have to completely start over when it's a USB mic. Get an XLR mic, get a cheap XLR interface, and as you grow, you can keep that same interface and just change the mic out. XLR with a USB interface rather than just a USB mic is always going to get you best sound quality. Start at those two things. You're passionate, get an XLR mic, get a interface, and then the editing and everything. I have tutorial videos I can send you on how to edit. All free stuff. I don't use it now. I'm upgraded now, but I can definitely get you on the right path. And don't say step jack my swag. I didn't invent podcasting. I didn't invent Bulls podcasting. I'm one of the smaller Bulls podcasts. Do you? We can't have enough great voices in the space. So do it, bro. Do it. Definitely do it. It's definitely gyro. No, it's not gyro. It's euro. Euro. Again, I've lived in Europe. I've been to Greece. It's euro. Is how you pronounce it. It's not gyro or gyro. Don't do none of that shit. Smack your mom if you say it that way. Smack your mom. We need Bobby Portis back. They're not giving up Bobby Portis. It's not happening. It's not happening. Thanks, bro. Who knows? We might. Hey, listen. I'm telling you right now. If you ask me to be there, I'm there for you. Period. Point blank. Matter of fact, you can guest on here and announce the launch of your podcast. I'll post the links and everything, bro. Again, this is a family. We're trying to build a community here. I'm not the end all be all Chicago Bulls. I don't. Some people get in this space and they want to hoard information because they fear somebody getting bigger than them. That's not me. Fuck, get in your shit, blow the fuck up, do what you're passionate about. Anything that I have or can do. Matter of fact, you know what? I don't know if you have Twitter or not. DM me. I'll actually give you one of my old mics, bro. I'll actually give you one of my old mics. So there you go. Do you think salaries of, I mean, when you come from a kid, right? And what's the minimum G League salary is what? Don't get me to lying. I think it's 20. The minimum is like 25,000. I may be wrong on that. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. That's absolutely, when you think like, come on, man. Yes, that's absolutely enough. Okay, Shay, let me tell you where you're wrong here. You do need a shot blocker on the team. You do need somebody who can alter shots. You do need that because that is an important piece of the game, especially when you don't have any of it else around the team. So I'm not saying that if we don't get a shot blocker that it's the end of the world, but you do need somebody. Ideally, you do need somebody and want somebody who can block shots. You do want that. I fucking love John Mayer, bro. Love John Mayer. Love John Mayer. How long do you think LeBron stays in the league? I think LeBron plays 3 more seasons. That's just off the top of my head. 3 more seasons. Nick, I'll DM you, bro. Thank you. Hey, man, listen. I've always said this. Knowledge is best when it's shared. I literally have like a whole locker full of mics that I have not used in a while. So yeah, bro. Like that's nothing, man. It's nothing, bro. I got you. Hey, bro, I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. Dogs going off again. Man of the people, not above them. I appreciate that. Between Phoenix and Golden State, listen, it's hard to bet against Golden State, especially because they haven't had Clay so far this season. Phoenix looks amazing, great, but the fact that Golden State is playing this way without Clay Thompson, once he comes back and he gets going, it's hard to bet against that, bro. It's really hard. It's hard to bet against that, man. Kind of sucks seeing former Bulls do better somewhere else. Campaign Portis out of I mean, shit happens. We can't get them all right. And if they did do good here, we wouldn't have some of the players we have now. So I mean, it happens, bro. It happens to every team. Podcast and the competition, we're to help each other. There's room for everybody. That is a motherfucking fact. 11s or 12. So my favorite Jordan, and people make fun because I don't know if this is a popular one. The Jordan 6 rings is my favorite tennis shoe ever. I have like 4 pairs in different colorways, but if I had to pick between the 11s and the 12s, I'm picking the 11s. Does anyone contend with Jay-Z in the verse? See, here's the thing. The thing about verses and that we've seen, it's not just about having hit records, right? It's about the track listing that you do, certain track matchups, the energy as well. The thing with Jay, right, is that this version of Jay, I don't know if he talks shit while he's on there. And if you get somebody who has a catalog, anybody can be fucked with on verses. I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but there's matchups at all that can definitely get interesting and be a fun matchup. But as far as Jay just sweeping anybody in the verses, I don't know if I feel that, man. I don't know, but I love Jay. Jay's the greatest. Jay's the greatest. He's not the best rapper. Nas is the better rapper than Jay, but Jay's the greatest. If Nicholas starts hitting threes more consistently, you think Stacey? No, Stacey King is too original and creative to reuse that. So if he does start, it's going to be a completely different nickname. And honestly, Stacey King, I think, just comes up with most of that off the top of his head. Definitely the Cavs. As far as which team surprised more, definitely the Cavs. Definitely the Cavs. All right, that's my time, people. That's my time, man. I love you guys so much, man. Impromptu live. We were on for about an hour and 13, man. I appreciate you guys supporting me, especially it was impromptu. Over 100 people in here. I rarely get that for impromptu, not after a game live stream. So thank you guys so much, man. I just appreciate you guys, man. Go ahead and follow us at Bull Central Pod. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, bullcentralpod@gmail.com. If you want to leave a text or voicemail that would get played on the show, probably the next couple of episodes that I do will be focused on voicemail. So get those in. Shay, who's in the chat now, has a couple that I really want to get to. So we'll be making our way through that mailbag and text and everything. So get those in heavily or emails, whatever it is. The phone number for that is 773-270-2799. You guys know what it is, man. Like I like to end every video on, man. I love you guys. Go Bulls. Peace.